Hi, welcome to Oma's Kitchen.
Oregano.
It's hot outside today, and we're going to make a summer pasta stir fry in Oma's Kitchen. We're going to use some spaghetti, which we will cook off quickly on the stove. And once we've boiled the spaghetti, we're going to put it together in my wok. You could use this or a really deep, wide frying pan. We're going to put it together with some chickpeas. They're going to act as our protein in this meal. And we're going to stir fry those with some onion, tomatoes, spinach, lemon juice, and some Italian spices. And then we're going to mix in some parmesan and swirl them around on a plate and have them with some fresh fruit. I've got cantaloupe mixed with fresh blueberries here and some beautiful grapes that are nice and sweet. We're going to make this a beautiful summer meal in Oma's Kitchen. Okay, so the onion is all cut up. And this will be the first thing to go into the wok with some olive oil. Let's handle the tomatoes. These are Romas, so you don't have to cut the top out as much as you do with regular tomatoes. See? Mm-hmm. I love that the fresh tomato cooks in with the noodles and everything else. It's not really a sauce that it makes, but it keeps it from being a dry dish. I do like my new knife. Nice and sharp. We've sharpened the other ones too. They get dull. My cameraman does the sharpening. He's head cameraman and sharpener around here. Right?
Head cameraman in charge.
And sharpener. All right. The tomatoes are done. So look at this. We have tomatoes, onions, the frosting, frozen spinach, and the parmesan. Oh, and I want to make sure I get all the seeds. Before we go over to the stove, we're going to drain the garbanzo beans, or chickpeas. They're the same thing, it's just two different names for it. We're going to drain those as well and get everything ready for our stir fry. All right, some lemon. Look at how fast that went. All I have to do is handle the garbanzo beans and we're ready to get the noodles going. So I've got some filtered water in a pot here for the noodles. I'm going to make it like the ocean. Nice and salty. We're going to cook that. We get it on high. We're going to cook those noodles off. And the way to do noodles in a stir fry is to undercook them. So the box says they're perfection between 6 and 7 minutes. Can you see that in there? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They're perfection between 6 and 7 minutes, says it right on the box. But we're going to undercook them, so we're going to do 5 to 6 minutes in the water. Then we're going to drain them Everything else will be cooked in the wok, and then we're going to add the noodles in on top and mix it around. So you want to undercook them a little bit so they don't fall apart when you put them into your stir fry. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to add some olive oil into the bottom of the wok. I won't turn it on yet until I get this water boiling, but we're going to go ahead and add the onions into the bottom of the wok. We're going to put little spices in on top of that. A little bit of garlic powder. Okay. Just a sprinkle of it in there. You do need a hint of garlic in this. Punch up the flavor a little bit. A little bit of onion powder in there. Even though we're putting onions in, onion powder has a punch of onion, and that's what you want. A little salt. Okay, and so we've put everything in except the basil and oregano, which we will do as we get the rest of this stuff into the wok. So we need to get it cooking first. I'm going to break them in half. I don't think that would fly in an Italian household. It really does. We like them broken in half. They're easier to manage when you're stir frying and when you're eating. I'm going to break. Yeah. And I'm probably going to end up doing just a box and a half of these. That'll be plenty for us for 2 nights. Tomorrow we will include them with some fish. The leftovers with some fish tomorrow. That'll be good. Because I do Italian spices on the white fish anyway. I use tilapia. And I do some Italian spices on it. It comes out so nice. I'll show you. Okay. That is one. I'm sending these flying everywhere today. Stir that a little bit. Once I get them all in there and it starts boiling again, then I will set my timer for 5 minutes and see how they are. They need to be mostly cooked when I get them out for the stir fry. So this is about a box and a third. Just a little bit more. All right, about a box and a half of thin spaghetti. You could use any kind of spaghetti. You could use gluten-free spaghetti. I've done this with those as well. You could use thick spaghetti, regular spaghetti, angel hair pasta. Pay attention to the amount of time on the box that you're supposed to cook it, and undercook it by about a minute or 2. So you can use it for this stir fry. And once I get these stirred up, I'm just waiting for it to boil again. 5 minutes. I'll get this going. Medium high at first, till things start sizzling. And my noodles are starting to cook. These noodles can be done and drained before I'm completely done with the wok. It's okay. I save about a half a cup to a cup of the liquid from the noodles and add it to my wok just to loosen things up a little when I add the noodles in. So I will need 2 of them when I'm done with this. On there. It's starting to fry. Smells good already. Do about closer to medium. And I'm going to add my garbanzo beans that I've drained. And there you go. Stir them around a little bit. Now that they're in, I can add a little basil. I've got dried basil here. I'm going to put probably a teaspoon or 2. I'll put it in the ingredients as 1 to 2 teaspoons. I have some dried oregano as well. In that goes. And I love oregano. It's in my theme song because I love it. A little bit more salt in there. You'll need some salt. Okay, once I stir these around a little bit, get them really frying, then I will add the previously frozen spinach in there. The last thing to go in will be the tomatoes, and then we will add the noodles and the cheese. These all get coated with the olive oil and the spices. And this is the protein for this dish. This is a meatless dinner. Stir my noodles a little bit. So, now the spinach. Already chopped for me, previously frozen, but I've used fresh before. Just chop it up a little bit and throw it in there. Oh, that smells wonderful mixed together. Isn't that beautiful? Let that fry a minute. I'm going to add a little more olive oil too. Alright, my pasta is going to be done in a couple of moments, so let me go ahead and add my tomatoes in. Now these will cook down a little bit and provide a little bit of moisture for this dish. And that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah.
Glass measuring cup. And I just dip it into the water, trying not to get any noodles in there. And I get some of the water out right before I drain them. This will go into my wok. Oh, and there's my timer. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these off camera. I'll come back with them in the colander drained. There's my noodles drained. Don't rinse your noodles. It takes away a lot of the nutrients and flavor. Just use them the way they are. Add a little oil if they start to stick together. Olive oil works best. Okay, so we've got this going. I'll let it go for another moment or two before I add anything else. Fry.
It smells really good.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Look at how fast we put this together. It was a matter of chopping up the stuff. My lemon, squirt of one. Okay. Squirt of two. I'll do the other two after the noodles are added. So this is half a lemon, just the juice. This is a lemon I had already used for zest. So you can see where I've rubbed the coating off of it. I used it for another dish we were making. I try not to throw them away if I can, because I tend to use lemon, particularly in the summer when I'm making dishes like this one. So these end up being partially cooked tomatoes and partially cooked onions before we add the noodles in. And that's what we're aiming at, is wilted. See how it looks a little wilted in there? Perfect. If you had fresh spinach, you would want that to wilt in as well. So now we take our noodles that are here and already sticking to my colander, and we add them in. Ooh, hanging out of the colander. And we're going to add this water from the noodles. It's starchy water, that's what we want, because that actually is an emulsifier, which makes everything sort of cook in together. And now we have both wooden spoons. And I'm going to turn this back to medium. And what we want is to Mix it all up in together. Get some of those garbanzo beans and spinach and tomato on top. And we want this to cook a little bit, fry a little bit together. Not quite as harsh frying though, once you get everything put together. Be careful not to fling it all over your stove, because oh my god, see why I break them in half? So they don't make quite as much of a mess. Because there's no big thick sauce on it, this is much lighter than your average spaghetti. Alright, now we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice again, and some of the Parmesan cheese, and we'll test it for salt. I know it's going to need more. A little bit more lemon. So some of this Parmesan goes in now, some of it gets sprinkled on top when we're done. Isn't that beautiful? Look at that. I'll do a little olive oil around the edge. And I am going to add a pinch of salt. This literally took, what, 10 minutes, 15 minutes from beginning to end, including cutting everything up.
Yeah.
And we are close to done. We'll plate up some with some of the fresh fruit. I'm going to test it first and see how our salt level is. Would you like to try it, bud?
Sure.
Get a little bit of garbanzo too while you're at it.
I can.
See that? Ah, that's beautiful. Ooh, hot.
Get over here.
Oh my god, that's good. Wow. Yeah, that's really good. Thank you for joining me in Oma's Kitchen. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll upload more tasty videos soon, and a special shout out to Moon Pie and Lil Bit. Till next time.